Hello everybody, Thy Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play OpenTTD. So, I just thought I would start out by resuming where we left off. We are now trying to help ourselves out by building a bit of a road empire. And the last place we got was actually not a bad place to start there. However, we do need a couple of things here. First of all, I'm going to unpause this, and we are going to set the road depot up. And I also want to point out as well that we actually made a minor bit of a mistake, nothing we can't get rid of. But we have this Fort Ridge Central here, and I just want to go back and merge this with the station that we have. Maybe. We seem to be in a bit of a bind here. Let me turn this on. And let's try this again. There we go. Now we have the station up and going. Let's get some transportation going between these two. You will see that we actually will have these vehicles we can get here. And we want to go between these towns. We don't want to full load these per se, but we do want these guys to go between there, and in fact that is exactly what we're going to do. Additionally, we'll create one for the opposite route as well, where we will go to Fort Harningwell, and we will go here. And these guys will just go back and forth. Now, occasionally these guys will drop off mail, and it may be good to have that. Right now, these guys are just going to queue up. As it turns out, these guys are very helpful in terms of town growth as well. We have this unserviced area here that would be very nice for us to take care of, because you see, we in fact are not able to get to this part of the town. And so the more of these bus destinations we are able to build, the better it will be for us. And the idea is, as long as we have 4 stations in this town, we will in fact encourage it to grow. Now, of course, that's not the end of it, because we have to set up a route between this guy. So these guys must be serviced as well. It might be rather useful for us to service this guy as well. Probably what we will want to do as well, what would be very useful for us to do at least, is put another depot. You can see our passenger list is increasing quite dramatically, and that is going to be important for us. You see, we now have 177 passengers, so what I'm going to do is put down another depot here so that these guys can fix themselves. And we will simply go to the depot and move between these guys. Some of these guys will want to go down here. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a little circle here that these guys will go in, and that will help us. So in order to make that circle, we don't have to do much. We just have to go down here and move this road down here, and that will make us a fair amount of money. Now, I noticed another opportunity here for us to make some cash, and the idea is that we are going to go here. I'm going to build a small rail platform. In fact, we'll make this a little higher, I think. We don't need quite as many tracks, but we'll do something kind of like this. And the sawmill produces goods, which is was great for us actually. It's not just good, it's great. So, that will be that for now. You can see we probably do want to take out a small loan. But our road income is already bringing in a lot of money. Going into the red is usually bad business for us. While we're waiting for this guy to make us a little bit more money, I want to go down here to this other network over at our Slimbury network because we hadn't really done much with it. And I just want to go down here and address the road situation. As it currently stands right now, this deal is not one way, and eventually we'll want it to be. And how we're going to deal with that is going to be up to us. I'm going to destroy this guy here, and I'm going to begin looking at ways that we could address this, because we now have this situation to where we have this exchange here, and having a one-way rail is going to eventually be good for us. There's going to be other things we're going to want to do as well. And so I'm going to build this guy out just a little bit. Remember, building over farms is dangerous, and it's dangerous for our cash flow, rather. But it'd be very useful for us as well. We are pretty much done with this guy here, so what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go through and do some signaling. Without signaling, we're in trouble. So we're going to have a block signal here. And for some reason we can't build signals. I am not entirely sure maybe the best way to approach this, but I will explain this here in a bit. So I will return. Okay, we're back. So it turns out that these signals are something we want, and we actually want a block signal here in this particular case, and we want, in fact, two of them, because this is an intersection here. So what's the deal with the block signal? Well, the basic idea behind the block signal is that we're oh well, if I can get this. Oh, that is not quite what I want. The basic idea behind the block signal is that this line here is reserved between these signal blocks here. And the idea we're going to have here is that by dragging here, we can create signals that allow us to improve the efficiency of our railway. So we have a block signal here that we can use to prevent these guys right here from clogging up the tracks. And by putting these signals down, this allows this one-way track to be more efficiently utilized. We'll just convert these here to the proper signal type. Basically, any path we can take here. Let me just convert back. Any path that can be taken here will allow more than one train here, which is going to be good for us. So we will start this. And you can see we've already made an insane amount of money already just from our transport network. Train 2 is lost. Our train 2 seems to have gotten into me. But we now have these one-way signals as well. This prevents, on this track here, you see this train will stop now because that other train is waiting, and that signal only turns green whenever this railway is free. Ideally, we want to avoid a situation like this. This is a bottleneck. And so we're going to have to think about how we might free this up. And you can see we are just a little bit in the black here. But we can use this now because we can set, once we set these roads up here, let me just level this guy out. This will allow us to have a lot more traffic on this one road here, which would be very nice for us. Let's go to the landscaping tool and level this guy out just a little bit. And I'm going to go to our signaling now and take this guy, and we'll put one of the signal blocks here, or as a junction here it looks like, so we can't quite build that signal there. But what will happen is this guy will go around and we will now, in reality, probably want to remove some of this. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to reclaim that track and I'm going to take up these junctions here. And now no matter what we do, this guy can only travel in this manner. Now this does leave a little bit of an issue. One which could be a little bit more easily resolved if we know what we're doing. And because this is one way, we can even entertain the idea of getting rid of some of these signals, come to think of it. I'm going to hit R and remove these guys here because they're no longer necessary. What we do want, however, is we do want signals along here. And this guy is just a little bit backwards. Yeah, we'll remove that one. We want these guys facing this way. And so this dramatically increases efficiency. And the way it does that is that we will be able to have more trains on this one particular track. And so there we go. I think we're good on our signals. Let's pay back just a little bit of this loan. So we're back to 140. And let's look at our new bus. Let's see what its profit is. Its profit is 416 bucks, and it's already about halfway through the year. Before too long, we will have mail that we will have to worry about. Now there's of course a sawmill up here as well that we will want to begin looking at. And what I'm going to do here is something that I should have probably done a while back. I'm going to create this double track here. And then we are going to, at somewhat great cost, create this loop. Now the idea is that as long as we have a connection to any of these guys, we're good. So I'm going to create this guy down here like that, and we will very easily be able to get more in the way of iron ore. I also, in order to prevent crashes, I am going to create a one-way sort of loop here. And hopefully I've done this correctly. And unfortunately I have not. But we can utilize a couple of interesting things here. We can of course use these things right here are called path signals. These things with the two lights, they can be quite nice. And we need just a little bit more cash. I guess I should have held on to that loan some. This part does get expensive with building here. This is going to be a so-called terminus station. This is the sort of station we've been building for a while here. And the idea behind the terminus station is that, again, this is going to be one way, so I'll put in a signal for that. So this guy here, in fact, we'll take out this other guy. So this piece of track here is occupied. You see, the deal is that it's safest if the train is what basically happens with these signals is that the train tries to reserve one of these, and when it does, what it'll do is it will go on through and it'll wait for really it'll wait to the point to where it's not congested or whatever. And so in this case, we have a very interesting problem here. Because, of course, on this terminus hub, and wow, we need more in the way of money again. We're still making a fair amount of profit, and we will make more profit yet. But the idea is that maybe for something like this, that it might be good to have another kind of station here, a station called a Ro-Ro station. We could expand that eventually, but for now, the basic idea is that I'm going to put down on this end these signals here. This is going to be a one-way signal, as is this. Now granted, that's actually somewhat of a pointless thing to do there. It's only there really for safety. Because part of the issue here is that we want as many trains to be able to dock here as possible, or maybe to be able to pass through. Let's take this other town byway upon Houghton and see if maybe we can't force it to grow a little bit as well. because this is where we're at right now. Not a very good deal. We got two of these depots here. I'm going to get another bus here, and we are just going to go in between. But I think the deal is that we have to service this at least 4 times a year. Other things we will want to do, of course, is, or at least that I want to do, I'm actually going to put a depot up here so that we can service this guy, a train depot. And then we're going to build a bridge over as well. Now, eventually, we will want to do what we've done here and convert this to its own deal. But we should possibly consider building our first wood truck. And if I've done this correctly, you know, that could be a rather big if. Make sure this is actually recording. And one moment. Okay, I believe we are back and recording. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I think it would be in our best interest right now to maybe get a train up and going. Although, let's see, this guy I'm thinking needs to be retired pretty soon. He's just not profitable. We're not generating much in the way of mail. Train 2's profit was lowered for some reason. These steam trains, as it turns out, are somewhat inefficient. Let's, speaking of which, let's go back here and see if our town has grown. It looks like it might have actually shrunk. What's the demand like here? We've got, well, oh yeah, we definitely could. Let's see if this is the guy we want. Let's get rid of these implicit orders. What are our ratings like? Very poor. They're not going to let us expand for a while, it looks like. Is this road vehicle 9? This is the one I believe we want to clone. So what we can do is we can go to the depot here, which I put somewhere around here. And we can go clone vehicle, and we will just click this guy, and its orders will be cloned, and it'll help us deal with some of the issues here. Now these guys unfortunately could deal with they could take another line here as well. Let's just go back over here to this guy. And hopefully we will make a little bit more in the way of money, more than we have been. I think in some way my profit has dwindled because of delays. Well, let me take out some money so I can build a train here. Let's do a new versus this guy. This guy does have a little bit more horsepower. Well, I guess we're buying it now regardless of what we want. I'm actually going to make this guy a wood car. I guess at least we are close enough now to where we can go down to Pronhampton and then go up here. Let's full load and unload, and let's get it going. If we can, I think, yeah, there's a signal built into this, so I don't think we will have to worry too much about crashes because the road is reserved at this point. Looks like every one of these guys needs servicing. Now, eventually, we will want to get ourselves a network going here. Train 4 is lost. It's unfortunate. We will just move this guy over just maybe a little bit more. And there we go. We will need to do some borrowing here. And we now have a very real routing issue here that I believe is caused by the fact that there is no way for us to route this the way we intended. We will want a signal here. I'm confused as to why this guy cannot leave. That is rather bizarre to me. See, why couldn't you do that beforehand? There we go. Did we not put up a signal there? We must not have. This is bound to, this is bound to cause a problem of some kind. There is a free path here, it's just not. There's something up with the signal block, I believe. Let's remove this guy here. There we go. The ideal thing for us to do at this point, if we can hack it, would probably be to get this still going here. Let's get a signal like this out at least, and see if it's facing the right way. Yeah, we need this facing the other way. There we go. Now in the future, this will have to be bi-directional, I think. For now, we will just have to actually come out here, I think, and we want to put up a couple of signals because we have a junction here. It looks like the cheapest route for us is going to be up here. we need to remove this signal as well, because there is well, first of all, we need to put a signal like this. Actually, I think having a signal like this is okay. Well, we finally got here. We're in 1955 now, and this wood truck is going to help us quite a great deal. It would be useful for us if we had a junction here so we could slip away from this if needed. We are not doing as well on the profit side of things, I will say that. So I may have been a little bit too ambitious with this, and that's something we definitely want to think about. We certainly have made less with our road vehicle, or actually we made an okay deal with our road vehicles, I think. But it is very likely, given the circumstances, that we will want to start a new game. But part of the reason being that I did not plan this out. Really at all. That I could have done this a little bit better. Now, to be fair, part of the reason I didn't plan this one out as well is the fact that, oh, where are we taking this? Are you not going to... This guy is, of course, not going to do his thing. Okay. First problem. It's kind of pointless making these one-way signals, but that is what I'm going to have to do. Yeah, I mean, there is somewhat of a likelihood for a crash here because of my signaling. There's really no other way through this place, though. So, yeah, I mean, we will... Maybe this guy will take the proper way here. I think maybe not. Oh no. Let's just get rid of that. We're down to not much at all in profits, and I'm hoping that we'll do okay with this. I'm going to turn platform visibility back on. And hopefully this guy here will be able to run the circuit as necessary. Unfortunately, it may not be able to, it may not so happen that we will be able to do this as necessary. And so there's a couple of things we can do about that. We can, yeah, he's going to go all the way around. Why is this guy not doing full unload? What? We lost our sawmill. That is quite irritating. I think I must have done something wrong here. There is, however, a sawmill down here, which we can build to freely. And I will make this guy a railroad station, I think, just to show you what that looks like. So we actually do have a railroad station here already. And that can be helpful for us, of course. We'll just take back some of this cash here. Basically, the idea is that these guys are going to share their they're going to share this guy right here. That is not the best job I've done on that. This, for a railroad station, this is probably a better deal here. Let's get ourselves this guy. Unfortunately, that is, we're going to have to be careful about this. I think we can maybe do something kind of like this, to where we have this guy here. Let's not convert this. So this is in fact not a railroad station at all. Under the assumption that this can only go one way, I think we would be better off here if we did some rather complex things to get this guy going here. Because that sawmill inexplicably moved, we'll delete this guy and we will go over here to Sladston Woods and just unload all. I am very confused as to what happened here. Because, like, I don't have it enabled, but there is a cheat that does allow this to do its thing or whatever. It allows us to, oh, there we go, 3,000 here. Make this a terminus station. We just aren't making that much here off of, and part of the profit issue is we're getting more profits from our vehicles here. And this guy cannot seem to get down there for some reason. Oh no, we are in the negative. And we're borrowing a lot of money. That's not quite what I had in mind there. Operating costs are getting a little bit too high for my tastes. We'll maybe make this a more direct route. Okay. I did not mean to do that. Only real thing that can happen as far as signals are concerned here is how is this guy unable to, I guess he broke down is the problem. I'm gonna make this a one-way, maybe. I think that would probably be best. So we've now created a ton of infrastructure that we in fact neither need nor can afford, because the Slinbury no longer accepts anything and these trains keep on breaking down. This is a problem that I probably alluded to earlier, that it would be kind of nice to see what the mine supplies. Livestock would have been better because we could have sent it down here on its way. But I think, this is probably far enough. I might start over from this point just because it's really difficult to recover from. I do want to see if we did manage to get our town to grow. Yeah, it's grown a little bit. Um, Maybe the thing we need to do next time is focus on a new town because we actually stand to make a ton of profit off of our buses. So let's do that. And then I will get the rest of these guys going. And until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.